All right, everybody. Welcome to my first video here. I'm posting. This is the return of my Atari TT 030. Now, I know it looks all in pieces right now. As you can see, I've got the case off here. It's very yellowed, and it's got about 25 years of sitting in a very good friend of mine's attic out in Phoenix, Arizona. Chris, I want to thank you for that. Here's the inside. It's originally a TT 030 with 4 megs of TT fast RAM and 4 megs of ST RAM. The reason that I've got it in pieces is when I first started this thing up, it wouldn't power on. So doing a little research and going on Exos website, which thank you very much. You've been a big help there, buddy. Determined after running some voltage checks, this little guy right here is the culprit. A power switch. It wasn't sending any power to the PSU unit. So what I ended up doing for the time being is, as you can see right here, just temporarily soldering these two wires, which go from the power input, to the actual PSU itself. And the computer was actually in immaculate condition for what it was. As you can see here, there's no rust. There's really nothing other than the case itself in bad condition at all. So I took her apart, made sure everything was connected up right. In shipping, there was a little bit of damage. The case managed to get banged up. The corners did get chipped a little bit, and the keyboard that I do have for it, which isn't the original TT keyboard, ended up getting a small crack right here on the case. But what I'm going to end up doing is retro-brighting it, and going to use some Bondo, go back over and structurally fix the unit itself, get it up and running. So I did do a test on it prior, so I kind of know the results, but we're going to go ahead and power this sucker up, and I'll show you what happens. Here we go. Everybody's checking out. We'll go ahead and skip this part right here. Sound works. And boom, there she is. Again, after 20-some years of being stuck in somebody's attic, she fires right up. Now, I don't have a working mouse for this unit. I'm going to go ahead and go out there to eBay, probably make a purchase or two. I've already got in mind upgrading the video on this thing since it's got the VME bus port on it, and tricking her out a little bit, see what I can do. I would like to get a Cosmos EX for her, but I know those are rare these days, so I'm going to go ahead and get a net USB, and that'll at least satisfy me being able to get this thing on the internet, upgrade the operating system as far as the graphical environment, maybe get Mint or Thing thrown on there, and just see what a good old computer from 1989 can do in 2018. So I'll do some more videos, especially the retro brighting process, and I'll probably end up recapping the PSU for sure, and any minor caps. I have to get a capacitor tester. That'll be in the works as well, and go from there, and maybe, just maybe, go old school and get a modem and start my BBS back up from back in my BBSing days. So we'll see if there's any demand for that. If there isn't, then maybe we'll throw her online and do like a FidoNet, throw BSD on there, or maybe another variant of Linux that we can get for her. So I'm sure that this bad boy has a few tricks up her sleeve, and we can go from there. But just take you around it real quick. You can see this keyboard here. She needs to be cleaned, retrobrighted. Keys do stick bad on her. Typical. I do expect those things. Of course, here on the side, you've got your keyboard port, your cartridge port, MIDI ports, and then you also have the infamous LAN adapter that fortunately never got used. Wish there was some drivers out there for it, or someone really did something with it. That would be really nice. The reset switch, and then we come around to the back. Of course, you've got your stereo out on the TT. You've got your modem 1 and 2. You've got your CGA out through a VGA style connector. Back in the day, that was kind of something that they were trying to come around to getting VGA. I don't know. In 1990, that was pushing it. Next to that, you've got your printer port, and then you also have over here the ASCII port, which is the Atari non-standard SCSI port. You also have a floppy drive port, and then you also have the addition of a true external SCSI port, which was the first model Atari computer that actually provided you with true SCSI. And of course, over here on the side, I have my hard drive unit, which was an upgraded 500 meg hard drive from the day, which was a 40 meg that came with this unit. And then the floppy drive. Now, the floppy drive, I'm not sure if it's either a 720K floppy or 1.44. I need to do a little research. Model is an Epson SMD380. I have to do a research to figure that out, but I do know these computers were capable of the 1.44 floppy because it does have the chip in it to support 1.44 meg floppies. Debating whether or not I want to keep the floppy drive in there, and if I'm going to go with like a floppy emulator through memory card. I kind of don't want to modify the case any more than I have to, because you never know. I mean, you kind of want to keep these things original. Like I said, here's the case. Now, it did get damaged right there in shipping. As you can see, there's a small little chunk broken off there. And then over here on this corner, you can kind of see a little piece. There it is. That did get broken off. And then the case over here did break on the backside. It was a weak point. But all in all, she's a good machine, and she definitely can get cleaned up. I have no doubt. And we'll take her from there. Again, this is a project that I've been wanting to get into for probably the past year or two. I've really researched and seen the community, and noticed that I'm excited to see that there is a community for it. So I'm going to see what kind of new and exciting things that the Atari retro community has brought to the 2018 era. So, all right, well, like I said, just wanted to give you a quick overview of the system. I don't want to flip her upside down because I've got all the components attached and she's on right now. And moving her as little as possible to minimize any more the plastic breaking. I know she's a pretty brittle unit, so we'll take her from there. All right, well, I'm sure I'll see you in a few more videos to come in the future. Y'all have a good night.